Hello. Today we will discuss the second part of the discussion, the second part of the infrastructure and services and the facilities for required for the housing. So, last day we discussed the requirement of the, I mean how the infrastructure and services are the very important part of housing development or any township development, and we discussed some element of the transportation and road, the categories of road, how a different hierarchy of the roads are placed, and we also told that the infrastructures, services, facilities and amenities are planned at various levels, starting from the local level, cluster level, neighborhood level and at the city level. So, based on the different level, the requirement of the land, requirement of the investment and the planning approach will be different. So, for all kind of infrastructure, the different approach and different requirements are there. Out of that, the most important part is the transportation and road, which is another part of the physical infrastructure. So, physical infrastructures are the basically physically the infrastructure which are physically existing, we can see, feel, and the benefit of the physical infrastructure we call it as a service like water supply or electricity, whatever, and the some amount of facilities in terms of social infrastructure or social amenities are provided, and the facilities and amenities both basically qualifies a house as a it improves the quality of the living or the quality of the life substantially for any housing project. So, based on that today we will have just overview of few others infrastructure like electricity, drainage, sanitation and waste management, how it plays a very crucial role in township development or any city, and how it is related with the housing development. So, so for this we already had a discussion on the last day's few points. So, for any drainage development, what are the major consideration? Before we come to the points, the drainage is important because to develop any township or any city, the most important part of the vulnerability of the particular area is the flood situation. So, for during any rainy season it can go below the flood level and the flood water can come. So, it is always important to check the flood level of any area before the development of any housing development or housing project. So, flood level, so maintaining the flood level is very important. Apart from the flood level, the another points are outfall and the outfall, where the drainage water, the surface drainage water will go and will be disposed of. For any housing development or any township development, the huge areas are under the concreting or the hard surface. So, because of the hard surface it does not absorb the water, rainwater or the surface water, and as a result the surface water, the rainwater, it comes to the outfall area. So, outfall can be for a city or the overall township, or outfall can be at the local level. So, in some of the places when one particular municipal area or one particular town or city does not have the outfall, or it is not having the outfall because of its location. So, there could be a possibility that we could have trans-municipal planning. So, we can take few municipalities, few bigger township or combination of smaller and medium township to make a large drainage facility, to orient them, to guide them to the larger this thing, your outfall facility. And also the maintenance of level and the engineering aspects are very important as far as the housing development is concerned. We can go for closed and open drain. So, for drainage, one major important is along the roads we provide the drainage in the both side of the road. Like last day we discussed the arterial road, subarterial road, collector and the local road. For each kind of road, the surface drainage is there. Those drainage could be closed or open. So, one more point, like for drainage, if the township is very huge and large, for maintaining this slope sometimes the lifting facility or the drainage pumping station could be required. So as per the space is required for drainage, you do not need another separate space for designing, because it is accommodated within the along the road, but for the pumping station definitely you need little bigger chunk of the land, so that you can take the water, you pump it to the different level, so that the water can go to the final outfall, which can be kind of a river or can be canal or can be any other natural outfall. Usually for the final outfall or the external outfall, we treat the natural sources of water as a major mean of the outfall. So apart from the drainage, we have the power supply or electricity. Electricity can be generated through different 4 modes, like say the thermal power plant or nuclear power plant or hydro power plant or renewable energy. Now for housing development or city development, we need to establish basically the areas where the substation will be put, the various levels of substation based on the city level or the local level substation. So those area requirements are listed in the norms and codes. And apart from the substation area, we need to accommodate the electrical installation along the road. Sometimes the electricity wires are put in the underground, or it can be overground. So whatever it is, the basic focus is that we need a dedicated space for electrical installation along the road and at the substation area. So if you are going to develop a large area of land in a bigger housing project or bigger township project, so you have to keep some amount of area ranging from 2 to 5% for the power generation, for the power distribution, electrical distribution, the substation and the distribution wires along the roads, like this. So another so along the road you can put this kind of areas for the street lights, and in the both side you can take another, if the road is very wide like arterial road or subarterial road, the electrical installation can be accommodated. Then we come to the sewerage and sanitation. This is very important, because without this facility, a plot or a raw plot or a agricultural plot does not become a livable plot. So there are separate systems of sewerage and sanitation. The objective of the sewerage and sanitation is to have a sustainable disposal of the human excreta and the liquid human excreta and related waste. So one approach is the natural and the traditional process. For example, East Kolkata waste and wetlands and waste recycling region, it is the very huge recycling region where the natural process is there to recycle the wastewater and the natural recycling of the sewer. Apart from the natural process, there could be underground sewerage system where you have to establish a sewerage treatment plan, and from the sewerage treatment plan you can have several distribution ducts like this. So in planned underground sewerage system, you have like STP. Now STP takes very huge area, 50 to 60 hectare in a bigger project, and from STP you have to have the distribution through the road, again below the road, or sometimes it can be distributed below the ground like green open areas. And to maintain the slope, sometimes sewerage lifting stations are also provided, and this is the household. So from household the sewerage comes like this. So this is the intermediate ISLS intermediate sewerage lifting station, and from the sewerage lifting station the sewer come to the STP for the treatment. So this is the fundamental process. So intermediate sewerage lifting station require some amount of space ranging from 50 to 60 meter into another 50 to 60 meter, and the sewerage can be taken below the road or below the any other open space like that. So, for example, if this is a local road, last day we discussed the sections of the various kinds of load. So, usually sewerage is taken below the road like the sewerage pipelines, whereas the drainage are like this. The objective is that surface water can come to the drainage, and also the water from the household. This is the building, on this part of the building. So, from the building the surface water can come to the drainage box, and also from the road the water can come to the drainage box. So, drainage can come in the both side of the road, and this is the sewerage line, right. And also we can keep dedicated space for electricity like this. Electricity. So, this is arrangement for local roads. If it is a arterial or subarterial road, similarly this can be distributed over the whole area, and the more number of drainage pipelines or drainage baskets or drainage boxes can come in that case. So, apart from the sewerage the treatment process, including the sewerage treatment plant and the lifting station and the network, there could be localized system like the septic tank or the soak pit, which is popular in various rural areas and also suburban areas, where individual family or a house can, or a simple standalone housing project or a small community can have a bigger septic tank, and through the septic tank they can have the, and septic they can have the sewerage facility or sanitation facility. So, this personalized solution is available in small cities and it is very much popular. The advantage of this facility is that it is maintained by the individual initiative. For this you do not have to put any extra money from the authority, but the disadvantage is that sometimes it can create problem in the area because of the non-maintenance, and the advantage of the underground sewerage system is that it provides the land suitability, I mean it provides the effective system using very minimum amount of space, because here you are not using the space for septic tank. The space for septic tank is saved through this sewerage network, but it is definitely a costlier option than the individual septic tank. So, both are having the advantage and disadvantage as far as the township and the housing is developed. So, this is the example of the natural the area of the East Kolkata wetland and the waste recycling region, which basically recycles the waste and the sewer water from the city of Kolkata. So, lot of the natural water bodies are there, and this water bodies having the fish. So, fish are the sewage fed, and because of the sewage feeding they recycle the sewage in a natural way. So, this is one unique example. So, because of the unique example, the main part of the Kolkata residents or the housing projects or the people over there, they get the benefit, but definitely for other areas like New Town Kolkata or the other areas on other cities we showed, they need to have the sewage treatment plan or the personalized facility like the septic tank. The second part, the another very important part is the waste management. For any housing area or any locality, you have seen that the one of the major problem in today's life is the waste management. Everywhere you will find that the solid waste or the liquid waste are lying in the road or the open area. You have heard definitely about the Swachh Bharat Abhijan. The objective of the Swachh Bharat Abhijan is to have the 100% waste management in our cities or in our housing areas, and also to eliminate the open defecation for our country. So, apart from the Swachh Bharat vision, though it is a mission for all over the India, for each and every housing project or every township development, waste management is an essential service, essential infrastructure we should establish. So, waste management has several stages like say collection, distribution, segregation and treatment and recovery. So, we have several stages of the collection. It can be collected at the household level. So, at the household level the waste can be connected. At the household level the waste can be collected and then it can be carried to the neighborhood level. Now, the neighborhood level collection can be through the garbage vats or garbage vats provided by the municipal authority. So, either it can be carried out by the manually transported carts from the household to the neighborhood level. So, this is the primary collection. At the neighborhood level it is the secondary collection. And after that it will be transported to a designated area in the city, where at the city level or zonal level, where large amount of areas will be reserved to bring the areas which we call as a tertiary collection. So, from secondary to tertiary, this part, since it involves much amount of the garbage, so it is basically not manual. So, it can be manual definitely, but it is not manual by the mechanized mode. And after this we go for disposal and treatment. So, this is the mechanism of the waste management for as far as the housing or the residential areas are concerned. Another very important concept here is the segregation. We have basically organic and inorganic element of waste. So, for every treatment the segregation of organic and inorganic waste is a very important part. So, one of the objective of the segregation is that whether we can segregate this organic and inorganic waste at the primary level using different kind of bucket system or different colored bucket system. So, that organic and inorganic can be collected in a separate bucket and then collected separately to the neighborhood level collection facility. So, the ultimately the process becomes easier, process becomes the user friendly. So, for the distribution at the secondary level and the tertiary level, we need substantial amount of land space at the suitable location in the locality, so that you can accommodate the collection facility, but definitely it should be designed in and planned in such a way so that it should not disturb the neighboring area, it should not emit the foul smells in the area, but adequately it should be located in such a way so that it can collect the garbage from the overall the neighboring area from the primary collection. So, that is the distribution facility required at the township level. Segregation we discussed, then the treatment and the disposal and recovery and the reuse. So, at the disposal level, though it is not fully under the scope of the current course, but definitely the recovery of the cost is very important part in the waste management. Unlike the water supply or the electricity, the waste is one area where recovery is very challenging, because nobody is ready to pay money for the waste recovery. So we can pay, like for the primary collection, the people who are collecting waste from our household level, but what happens after that when the waste goes to the disposal and for the treatment. So there are means and methods where we can technically and feasibly we can recycle the waste, and from the recycled waste we can develop several product, and product can be utilized for the recovery of the projects. So the whole the method of the primary, secondary and tertiary collection, disposal and treatment could be designed in such a way so that in a township it functions in sustainably, and with a sustainably as far as the environment is concerned, sustainably as far as the economic recovery is concerned. So waste management is very important part. Don't neglect the part in wherever you get the opportunity to plan and design the township or the housing development. So in the next lecture though we will come to the discussion of the social infrastructure, but before we close this session let me mention few more few more infrastructures which we deal apart from the electricity, sewerage, sanitation, drainage and waste management, like few more infrastructure like gas supply, petrol pumps. These are very important physical element or physical element which or facilities required. Sometimes like in few townships you have seen that gas supply is possible through the pipe network. So if the gas supply is given through the pipe network, so that space should be kept at the adequately in the road or in some other suitable place. So that is one part, and other than that also a distribution network of the gas and the petrol pump, network of the petrol pumps and the gas distribution stations are required at various location of the township. So apart from that few more like say few more physical element apart from this thing like say terminals, and we have discussed about the road, but apart from the road we need large terminals like say railway stations or the ports or the metro stations. So how terminals can be integrated in the other element of the development of the residential development and the other development, that is very important as far as the development of any housing area or residential is concerned, because please take a mental note that for any residential development very important part of the residential development is how it is connected with the commercial area or the areas where the job opportunities or the job locations are there. So for that your connectivity and the linkages are very important. So for this reason the road connectivity, linkage and the nodes are very important to locate and to design. Apart from the road and transportation we have discussed today for the drainage, where we discuss the very important part of the drainage is the outfall and the distribution system, and drainage is designed and located in the road itself. We discussed about the electrical system. For electrical system similarly the electrical system is placed below the road, but we need substation at the sector level and the city level. After that we discuss the sewerage and sanitation system. Sewerage and sanitation system is consisting of the sewerage treatment plant, its network and its collection at different location. It can be naturally treated, it can be mechanically treated using using sewerage treatment plant, or it can be designed as a personalized means like septic tank and the soak pit. And finally we discuss the waste management, where the waste can be solid waste, liquid waste or biological or the medical waste, but for our case the housing development, the solid waste which is coming from the household day to day basis, that is very important. So two kinds of waste are there, organic and inorganic. So the objective is to segregate them at the collection, at the primary collection, that is at the household level, and then to transport at the neighborhood level, secondary collection, and at the city or the zonal level for the and the third tertiary collection. And the major part of the waste management is its treatment and disposal, so that we can earn the recovery of the amount of the amount we invested for this purpose. And so next day we will discuss about the other part of the infrastructure and facility, the social part. So far we have discussed road, transportation, drainage, electricity, and waste management and sanitation, and also we mentioned about few more element like gas supply and the petrol pumps and all those facility. So next day we will discuss about the social facility, social infrastructure, and the community facilities and amenities required at the site or beyond the site, which is very essential. And also we will see that how the norms and standards are there, what kind of standards are there, and what are the space requirement and the population standards which we follow to maintain all the social facilities. So thank you for today.